Are you single? Me too. Girl, get in here. Welcome to Empowered by Her Picket Fence. I'm Stephanie, and I'm a single woman, a single mother, and a women's empowerment blogger. And it's time for us to come to the mic and let people know what's really good with single women. So go grab that latte because we're about to get into it.
All right, guys, thank you for joining me this week. And if you care way too much about what people think about you, this episode is for you. So get in here. We're going to be talking about external validation, especially as it pertains to women and beauty. External validation is when you're getting your sense of self worth and positive affirmations from outside or external sources. And I really wanted to dive into this on one of my earlier shows because I think it has a huge impact on how we feel about ourselves as women and how we're showing up in this world. So let's get into it. All right. So you're grabbing your morning latte. If you're in the suburbs, you're in the drive through, possibly. If you're in the city, you're most likely waiting in a super long line to get yours. You're so excited, only to have it knocked out of your hand on the A train. And this has happened to me, and my hand was on fire for the next 3 stops, okay? But you're getting that latte, it's all good. You've got your super lit outfit on, you're feeling great. And then it happens. Someone says, "Hey girl, you're looking good today." And that's all it takes. We bask in the glow of that compliment and we are feeling amazing with that extra affirmation, right? Have you ever felt that way when you're like out doing your thing and then someone gives you a huge compliment or any compliment and you're like, "Okay, cool. I got it right today." You know, I'm firmly again in the Gen X category. And when I was in my 20s, I really, really cared about those shout outs. I did. It all mattered. And if I went a day and they didn't come, I thought maybe I had the wrong outfit on. I'm just keeping it 100 with you guys. Seriously. But that's how much it mattered to me. And that illustrates the power of external validation. But the thing is, self worth and self love is an inside job. I recently heard that, and I can't remember where I heard it, but I think it's absolutely true. It's an inside job. When you're getting all these compliments paid to you, wherever you are, from other people, it's temporary. And the question becomes, if you're not giving it to yourself, what happens when the compliments slow down or they stop coming altogether? How are we handling that? And so I thought it was important to talk about this because beauty has always been a sort of currency in our society. Like you get accolades for being beautiful. So I wanted to talk about that. And here's my story. I was a late bloomer. I was the girl who didn't necessarily get the guy because I wasn't as sophisticated or maybe cool. And I didn't figure out the algorithm for everything, dressing, whatever, you name it. I was still figuring it out where some other girls might have already had it all in the bag, but that wasn't me. Okay. So I was that way, I would say, until I was a freshman in college. Then, sometime around my sophomore year, I guess I figured out the algorithm and I really came into myself, or so I thought. I cut my hair in this super fly, cute bob. I started wearing matte lipstick. I used to love Chanel Very Vamp. I used to scrape together my little coins just to get one tube, and it was everything to me. I would actually buy a lot of it right now if it was around. And if it is around, if you guys could let me know, I would appreciate it. But I really was starting to come into my own and I was feeling great about myself or how I was presenting myself to the world externally. And that's key, my external presentation. So when I got to that point, I started getting a lot of attention and I was drinking it all in. I mean, I got a lot of attention from men and they were always saying, "Oh, you look great, da da da." But again, external validation. The thing is that because I had not had a strong sense of self and because I had not received that level of attention before, I started to really care about it. I wanted it all the time to make me feel better about myself. And I didn't realize at the time that I was falling down a rabbit hole of approval and caring about what others thought about me. And I needed it all. But let me give you the flip side. So I'm walking down Broadway. This was, mm, I would say, maybe 4 years ago or so. Walking down Broadway and living my best life. I got my headphones on, sunglasses, earrings jingling. I'm feeling good about myself. And okay, for those of you who may not be familiar with Broadway, let me back up. Broadway is like a main thoroughfare in Manhattan, New York City. Things are popping on Broadway all the time, day or night. Everything's going on, stores, whatever, people, everybody's out all the time. And that could be any city, whatever the main thoroughfare is in your city. But anyway, I'm walking down Broadway, minding my business, listening to Rihanna in my headphones, and then I hear, "Hey, gorgeous." Okay. And what I'm hearing it's like coming to me from down a long tunnel because I had my headphones on. And I guess I took too long to respond because the next thing I hear is, "You ain't that hot anyway." Oh, really? Okay. All right. Guys can be so petty, right? So I'm like, okay, first, sir, I had my headphones on, didn't really hear you, minding my own business. And two, I don't need your acknowledgement or affirmation. You know why? Because I'm in a much different place now. If I was in my 20s, I would have been like wrecked probably for a couple hours. Like, what do you mean I'm not that hot? But now, as a grown woman, I have matured into my confidence and it doesn't really shake me because I know it doesn't matter what people say about me. I know it matters what I'm saying to myself. So, the reason I'm telling you that story is because as women, we have to really step into our own self worth and give ourselves the validation we're looking for. Self confidence is one of our most important assets, and we need to actively cultivate it. So, take a moment and think about what your validation source is. Are you relying on it from other people or are you giving it to yourself? It's important to give it to yourself because when you're constantly looking for approval from other people, it can affect everything. It'll spill over into your relationship where you're looking for approval from your significant other, and they'll be able to get away with anything because you're going to really care if they like your outfit or not, right? I've been there. So the question I have, and it's a burning question. I just really I want your opinion on this, ladies. Do you think men care as much about external validation as it pertains to their looks as we do? I don't know. I have a feedback link in my show notes, so I would love to hear what you think. So let me know. And with that, I'm going to give you 3 empowerment moves that you can use if you're struggling with caring about what everyone thinks about you. Because I'm here to tell you that you are good as is, you are a masterpiece, and you are worthy. All right. So, number one, practice radical self love. Self love is an inside job. Cultivate it. Honor yourself as a unique being. That's number two. There's no one just like you. No one. You're an original. So walk through the world as if you are. And three, cultivate your inner beauty. How are you showing up in this world as a human? And how do you treat others? How are you living your life? Those are the super important things that we need to get right. So you can decide today that you're done with impossible standards, unrealistic expectations, benchmarks that society has set for how we should live our lives, judgments from others, objectification that we face every day as women. You can decide that you're done with it all today. And now for the women looking at the front door, because it's time for Girl, it's time to leave. Are you ready? All right, let's get into it. Girl, it's time to leave when he criticizes you all the time. When someone criticizes you in a relationship, they are not appreciating the masterpiece that is in front of them. They see you as someone that's not getting it right. And truth be told, if they don't appreciate who you are today, they're never going to appreciate you.
All right, guys, meet me right back here next week. And don't forget to hit that follow button and leave me a review. And tell all your friends because the single girls just got the mic.